Liam, great to see you. We'll start with the here and now, but I do want to talk to you about your international achievements. How are you feeling after the weekend? Great finish to the game and good to get back to winning ways after the international break?
Yeah, I think the key thing was the result. The performance wasn't quite there, but St Mirren are a very tough team to play against, especially there. And they defend really well, they're really well organised, so it's hard to create against them. But, you know, what a way to end the game. You know, Cal's pulled us out of it a few times now, and you know, he's just so dangerous from 30 yards out, 25 yards out, whatever. And he hit the ball so sweet, you know, and it was a great way to finish the game. And it kind of, you know, since I've been here, I think we have 3 or 4 of those games a season where it's tough, there's nothing in it, and then you need just a little bit of magic, and thankfully we got that.
How good is it from a teammate's perspective? You know, the game was a slog. It was lacking few real chances in front of goal, but to know that you've got someone there who can anticipate, who can take the touch and then finish like that, incredible.
Yeah, no, it sums him up, doesn't it? You know, we're struggling to break them down, and it's a really tough game, and just I think his first touch really set him up for the goal, and what a touch it was, and then the way he strikes the ball is just, it's brilliant. So no, I think the goal sums up how he's been since I've been here the last few years. It's just when you need him most, he turns up.
If anyone's looking ahead to the cup final and on paper Celtic versus St Mirren, and they just see it as a guaranteed bit of silverware, I think that performance from St Mirren at the weekend shows how tough it's going to be.
100%, yeah. They're incredibly hard to play against. They're really physical. They're really well organised. They press at the right times, and they have good experience around the pitch as well. So the League Cup final is going to be a difficult game, and we're ready for that. You know, we're not expecting it to be easy at all. We know, obviously, how hard it's going to be.
Let me talk to you about the kind of situation Celtic's in. It's unusual for you guys. You normally hit the top quite early, and then it's about maintaining that lead, which is a challenge in itself. Playing the chasing team, if you like, it's a different challenge. In a lot of ways, does it have its own kind of motivation when you can see the team ahead of you that you're trying to chase? I'm thinking in athletics, you know, you've got the person at the front that's kind of looking behind, and the guy in the shoulder tends to have an edge sometimes.
Yeah, I think like mentality-wise, I don't think it's been much different, because when we're top, we want to win every game, and when we're not top, we still prepare the same way. We still want to win every single game we play. So it hasn't changed in that sense so much, because we prepare the same as we always have done to win games of football, and it's just about us now to put a string of results together to take that top spot and not let it go then, because, you know, it happened last season with Aberdeen as well. They started really, really well, and it was sort of, we were level for a long time, and now it's similar things happened with Hearts. They started really well. They are a good side this year, 100% really good side, and it's just about putting a string of results together. Next time we play them as well, we want to beat them, and hopefully that'll be enough to take us top.
And Hearts are up there on merit. There's no doubt about that. You don't get a lead like that without deserving it. But I guess what it shows as you begin to kind of chip away at that is that being at the top has its own set of pressures, and it's something that you guys have shown throughout the seasons, and it's something that maybe because you've been so consistently being able to hold that top spot that some people might take for granted.
Yeah, definitely. It is a different sort of challenge being top, and you know, when you're top, there's a target on your back. Yeah. So obviously Hearts are there now, and that's what's happening with them. You know, everyone wants to beat them because they're top of the league, and you know, it's been the same with us in previous years, and that is a challenge. You have to realise that every team you play against, you know, they're playing almost as like it's a cup final, so you have to do the same. So I think that's sort of the difference there, yeah.
As a transition into your international exploits last week, I want to ask you about working with Martin O'Neill. As an Irishman yourself, working with the legend that is Martin O'Neill, how's that been for you?
It's been amazing. You know, he's been brilliant. I've learned a lot in the last few weeks from him, and you know, you can tell he's a really good man and a great football man as well. So it's been really good, you know, and obviously a lot of that comes down to the coaching staff as well. You know, the lads have been brilliant. So it's been enjoyable, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Martin, we see him in his press conferences and he's very dry, sense of humour, very quick-witted, but he comes from that Brian Clough school of knowing just what to say at the right time. Has that been your experience?
Definitely, yeah, it's quite similar in the dressing room. It is dry humour and it's sort of, you know, someone might get a little bit of stick, but you know, it's coming from a good place and it's generally with a lot of humour, so it's funny, you know.
Yeah, I spoke to him after your game against Hungary for the Republic of Ireland, and he was absolutely delighted. He said he'd phoned you. I think he thought he might have woken you up the next day. I'm not sure if he'd actually been to bed, but just in the cold light of day now, looking back on that, unbelievable. I mean, it's one of the kind of things you dream of, not just to be part of a squad, but to actually have a hand and assist in a goal that everyone's talking about.
Yeah, 100%. And we went into the camp. You know, not many people gave us a chance. You know, we had to beat Portugal and beat Hungary away, and that really, judging off our previous form, that looked unlikely. So the first game was obviously brilliant in the Aviva. To beat Portugal, we were really good defensively. We kept a clean sheet. We were strong, and then obviously to go away to Hungary and to be part of that goal, as you said, it's something that will live with me forever. Like I've watched it. I don't know how many times I've watched it back, but you know, it's probably emotionally one of the best moments I've had on a football pitch, and you know, we know the job's not done. We have to go and march and win 2 tough games, but to be within having a chance of doing that right now, you know, considering where we were 2 weeks ago, it's brilliant.
Talk me through what's going through your mind, if indeed anything is going through your mind, when you see Kelleher on the halfway line and he launches that in. Do you immediately know, I'm going to get this and I'm going to glance it down for Troy Parrott? Is that in your thinking, or is it just a case of just trying to create some sort of opportunity?
When I seen the ball going out on the far side, I looped my run around to give myself a few yards on the defenders, just so I could have a run and a jump. And once the ball was played, I sort of fancied it, and I got up early. And I'm not thinking I'm going to flick this on to Troy. It's just I'm going to try and get contact and put it into an area where someone can score. And luckily that's what happened. His run was brilliant. You know, his movements frightening at times. So for him to be in the right place at the right time and just tap it in, it was brilliant. I
don't know how much you spoke to him afterwards, but it must be a real surreal, if that's possible, a surreal experience for Troy to score all 5 goals in those 2 qualifiers. That is stuff that absolute legends are made of. Yeah,
100%. I said to him, like, after the game, that's what I would have been doing in the back garden when I was 10, 11 years old, you know, kicking the ball around, pretending to score hat-tricks for Ireland in massive games, and that's what he did, you know. And then you take the 2 goals from Portugal as well. Like it doesn't get better than that, really. It's a brilliant achievement, and you know, he's a really good player.
I remember doing your first interview. I think it was outside at Lennoxtown. It must have been a nice day when you first signed back in 2021. Would it be 2021? At that point, obviously, you hadn't played for Celtic, you hadn't played for Ireland. Here we are 4 years later. Can you believe where you are and the things you've experienced?
No, not really. It's been a mad 4 years, but it's what I wanted, you know. But I suppose back then I never really looked too far ahead of me. You know, I just arrived. I knew I had a lot of work to do to get up to the level of the lads here and become a Celtic player. And you know, it's just been great to be given the opportunity to do that for Celtic and for Ireland. You know, it's what you dream of, and you know, there's a lot of kids in Ireland now who would love to be in my position in 10, 15 years down the line, playing for Celtic, playing for Ireland. So I cherish every moment of it.
Yeah, there's young Irish kids in their back garden now pretending that they're Liam Scales. But having had all that experience, do you see yourself now as one of the leaders in the dressing room? We've obviously got Callum, who's the captain, but a dressing room needs more leaders than just that. Do you see yourself as what other people see you?
I suppose, yeah, based on you know, I've been here for 2 full seasons now. I've played a lot of games. I know how it is to play for Celtic, and you know, there's a lot of new players in, as it happens every transfer window here. So you know, it's kind of been a natural progression, and you know, I've become one of the more experienced players. So especially when guys like Ali Johnson and Cam, who are leaders, they're injured, so you kind of have to take that role up a little bit more, and it's been nice to do that, you know, and it's sort of given me confidence as well.
Just going back onto international, everyone was talking about the Republic of Ireland game against Hungary. It's like the greatest game, and then all of a sudden we had the Scotland game a couple of days later, and I think it even went up a notch after that. I mean, I don't know if you saw that game, and particularly your feelings towards Kieran when he scored that incredible goal. essentially that's the goal that's taken Scotland through to the World Cup.
No, it was an amazing goal. I nearly knocked my fiancée off the couch jumping up to celebrate. Honest to God, I like the ball. I could see the ball falling to him, and he was coming from the right onto his left foot. So I was thinking, here we go. And you know, it was a great finish, and I'm delighted for them because I played with a lot of the lads, and you know, it's a massive achievement. Was it 26 years?
Yeah, since 27. It'll be 28.
Sorry,
by the time the World Cup comes. Yeah.
So that's just massive, and hopefully, we want to do the same in March. And yeah, I didn't think it could get much better than our sort of results, but no, that was brilliant. And for KT to get that goal is brilliant for him as well. You know, he's had a couple of hard years with injuries, and that's kind of, again, that's what you dream of as a kid, scoring to qualify your nation for a World Cup, and he did that. So
you could almost see that it was almost like shock in his face at what he had achieved. You know, it didn't quite sink in until a few seconds. But I think he actually dropped to the turf at the end of the game. I think it was just so overwhelming.
Yes, emotional. Someone actually said to him, "Where were you running to?" And he said he was going to end up down the tunnel in the dressing room if he wasn't stopped. So yeah, he was just, you could tell, like, it's just emotional, and you don't know how to act in those moments, you know, unless you're a really calm, cool striker, I suppose. But you know, it's just.
Do you feel that, because that's what, as you said, you've watched the goal back so many times, from Troy Parrott's third goal that you set up, but then there's so much other social media content that comes with it. You see all the pubs and the clubs and families watching at home. Does it really begin to sink in when you're lying in your bed at night going, "Oh my God, what have I just done?"
Yeah, definitely. Like, I can remember Robbie Brady scoring against Italy in the Euros in 2016. And being in a pub, underage maybe, but
I was going to say, right?
but you know, being part of those celebrations, you know, it was incredible, and then to be part of what causes those celebrations is on another level. Yeah. And
I must mention Johnny Kenny as well. What a game to make your international debut.
Yeah, 100%. It was. It doesn't get much bigger than that, I don't think, you know, for your debut. You're getting thrown on to try and win a game that keeps us within a chance of getting to a World Cup. So yeah, he deserves it as well. He's been scoring goals here, and he was unlucky not to score against the keeper. Made an incredible save against him late on, so it could have nearly been him. Yeah. But you know, he'll get his chance again, and he'll take it. But I'm delighted for him, because he's worked hard, and he's had to come over here, go back to Ireland, and then come back. Kind of, he grew a lot. He grew into himself. He's a man now, you know, and he's playing really well. So he deserves it.
Just finally, Liam, looks like there'll be a new manager soon at the club. Some huge games coming up, but I know you only look at the next one. So you get this Europa League tie away in Rotterdam to Feyenoord. They may have lost at the weekend, but I'm sure you're not looking at that as any sign that they're anything other than a strong team.
No, 100%. They're a really good side. We played against them in the Champions League 2 years ago, and you know, it was a difficult night, and it's a tough place to go. So we're just focusing on how to beat them, how to play against them, how to exploit their weaknesses and sort of nullify their strengths. So, you know, we'll be fully equipped and ready on Thursday night.